Warning, warning to all parents. This video is not made for kids. This is not a kid-friendly video. This video is made for the adult collector. As such, there is adult language in it. With that being said, after warning all parents that this video is not for kids, we can begin. Now this is a 1993. Well, in the box, when you first get it in the box, it says 1996, right? But the way it looks is anywhere from 1993 to 1997. This particular one here, again from the box, is a 1996 Pontiac Trans Am. Now these are amazing cars. Again, this is my dream car, or at least one of them. The rims that you see did come on this particular car like this, out of the box. They have Kroger's, I believe. That's how you pronounce it, Kroger's. Or also American Racing rims, right? So for the most part, this was sold under the license of Fast and the Furious. Now, for the most part, again, a very, very cool Trans Am. I love that it's all black with the chrome rims and the T-tops. Now, this one does have the gray interior instead of the black interior. It would have looked a lot better if it had the black interior, but I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing that out. Now, the other thing is, again, I love the rims, the way that they made it or the way they sold it like this. I mean, it looks freaking badass. It looks awesome. Like, again, like a muscle car, because that's what it is. In 1993, you need to understand, right? As I have been telling you guys in the previous videos, since the 70s, the gas prices have been going up and the gas demand was going up, so not that many people could afford putting a lot of gas in their car, so they needed to downsize the engine. And not just the engine, but the horsepower, because they had the smog tests, they had the emissions and all that crap they had to deal with. Well, in the 80s, the late 80s, Pontiac started bringing back the muscle. Now, they started off, again, really minor, but even the smallest V8 had 170 horsepower, and in 1982, the Trans Am had 145. So you could buy a Firebird with a V8, and it had more than a Trans Am back in 1982, right? So again, 82, 145. 92 had 170 as a basic V8 standard engine. Now, if you wanted a GTA in 91, 92, you had 240 horsepower in a TPI engine. Now, this particular Trans Am here, they upgraded the engine from the TPI to the LT1, which is, I guess if you want to say, it's like the, how do you call it? The evolved version of the TPI, right? So for the most part, again, this engine had 275 horsepower. It was taken off of the Corvette and put in this Trans Am here, and also the Z28. Now again, in the Corvette, it was rated at 300 horsepower. And Pontiac kind of winked, like, oh, you know, they downplayed how much horsepower these actually had because of insurance prices. They were trying to sell the car more than, how do I put this? They're trying to sell the car, but trying to downplay the actual horsepower that it came with out of the factory, so that the buyer would not pay so much in insurance prices. So they would say, yeah, this car only had 275, but in reality, it had more than that, right? Now, a lot of people, they say, oh, no, that's not true either. That car only had 275 at the best. But if you guys know anything about engines, it all was the way that the engine was put in this engine bay. The Corvette, it had a ram air, not like an actual ram air hood or anything, but the way it was set up, the air would go underneath the car, go in the front, and then go straight into the engine. And then it had better exhaust going outwards. So all that freed up. It added and freed up horsepower. So when they put it in a tight space like this, and they put the how do you call it, the air duct off to the side, basically what's happening is you're getting air that's off to the side. So it's getting air in here, right here, and then it goes up, then it turns to the side, then it goes back up into the engine. So basically you have like a lot of curves and twists for the air to pass through. And in the Corvette, it was not like that. It was just straight in. It'll go underneath, you go up, and then straight in, right? So, all this being said is one of the reasons why in the Corvette it had 300 horsepower, and then in these cars it had 275. Now again, the horsepower is a question mark because it's like, yeah, again, insurance purposes and all this. But anyway, bottom line is that the muscle car was coming back. And what a great time to be, because I mean, by this time, the muscle cars of the 60s and 70s, and even the third gens, the 80s, they were mostly steel bodies. These fourth gens, I'm going to say from the front fender, well, some in the engine bay, but you had basically, oh man, it's hard to explain. You had steel, and then you had composite and plastic parts to it. So they were a lot lighter than the all steel-bodied frames and all steel body themselves. So these were more lighter, these were more aerodynamic, and they had a more powerful engine. So that's why a lot of guys, when they're getting into these cars, these are the cars that they want. Mainly, right now at least in 2020, they're going after the LS1s, which is the 98 to 2002, with the all-aluminum LS1 engine. My personal opinion, I prefer these right here with the the iron block with the aluminum heads and the aluminum intake. And it's still aerodynamic, it's still steel and composite plastic body. Aerodynamics and all that good stuff. I mean, this is the car that is my dream car. This is the car. Now, let's take away the girl here. Now, let's get a better look at this particular model. I mean, look at this. Just gorgeous. I love it. Just, man, look at that. And again, I mean, this particular one here was sold by the name, Fast and the Furious. So this is the 1/18 scale. And just beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Just, oh man, just look at that. It looks so freaking badass. It looks like it's going 100 miles an hour just parked there. It looks like it's made to drive fast. Okay? Not all cars, Mustangs, Challengers, all that, Chargers, all these, they don't look like this. They're not aerodynamic. They're big-ass bricks. And I'm sorry to say that. Hey, if you're a fan of those, great for you. But this is my dream right here. This is the car that I love. But let's open the doors here and let's pop the hood open. And you can see the engine inside here. I custom painted the brake, the engine, and all that. I basically painted it, the top intake there, like an LT4. And if you guys don't know what an LT4 is, again, you can look it up. I'll probably put links in the video on the description. So let's get a closer look here. If the camera will focus. Okay, let's close the hood. So you can see the inside here. I painted the pedals. As you can see, there's the 6-speed standard right there. Let's close this, and look underneath the car. And you can see that it's made by ERTL, licensed by GM Corporation, and again, made in China. It does not say 96 Firebird. There's no saying, no stampings on it or anything. Not on this particular one anyway. But anyway, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed looking at this particular car right here. It is a beautiful, gorgeous car. Freaking love it. Alright guys, see you in the next one. Bye.